Okay, let's do a little bit of vlog like this with my GoPro, which is always in the landscape mode. Why do I do this? Now, very simple, because I want to address a couple of topics. Like always, if you're new, I speak reality. 47 years on this planet, lived a very colorful life, etc, blah blah blah. Just watch the previous videos. There are thousands of videos actually available. The thing is, when it's about my vlogging journey, the thing is, live streaming is simply for one reason, because my vlogs, where I started with, is simply, you know, based upon reality, unedited and raw reality. The thing is, when I'm doing it live, then people really cannot dance around the bush and say, oh, maybe he edited some things out to make him sound like an angel. No, I don't. So that is also out of the way. The reason that I'm now using my GoPro Hero 12 is simply because when I do on the phone in portrait mode, then people jump in on the chat. Like this, I avoid it a little bit and can stay on topic. The thing is, I will do way much more live streaming using the portrait mode, and then I chat with the people and answer a lot of questions. But not only this, just interact with people, because I'm addicted to communicating with people. I'm doing this 7 days a week, 365 days a year, 18 hours a day, bam bam bam. Anyway, like my previous shorts, I'm gonna address a couple of topics. One of the, because always, you know, shorts are short and they're always in, let's say, an 18 or maybe sometimes 45-minute live stream where I'm, you know, rattling and I just want to drop thoughts. And by the way, if you're you know, quickly stepped on your toes, or you're some so-called left-winged or, you know, very conservative thinking person, and this is definitely not for you. This is only for people who like to go outside the normality, which means you don't want to work anymore for your boss, and also not listen to any other adult besides yourself. It's claiming your freedom. Anyway, I spoke about one very important topic, I think, and I talked about that a lot of teachers that are brainwashed simply by the whole system. And I'm not mentioning a system in particular or the matrix, quote unquote. I always believe people are people, and people gather in groups, and all of a sudden, you know, some people have more power than the other ones, and some create systems for other people that can, let's say, normal people follow like slaves, and you don't want this. Again, my content is not for the soft-hearted or the people with the long toes that can be stepped upon. So I said yesterday, you know, a lot of people or teachers are brainwashed, and a lot of teachers are also having the self, how do you say this? They make themselves somewhat, that they tell themselves that they fulfill their duty, that they want to teach the world. But like all my content, I'm always pushing people to do better in life, because if you really want to serve, you do it for free. And for high quality one-on-one time, you simply charge money. And so, for example, you're a public teacher and you tell the world that you try to serve people the value that you do have. So you're very valuable, you got this knowledge, and you try to serve. Then I always say, do better than what you do, or do better than the people that you swimming in the pool of teachers. You know, when they hanging around on schools, eating breakfast and doing lunches and smoke cigarettes. That is all fun. But where is the example? Where is the responsibility? I don't believe that there is a responsibility. But who am I? I'm just a nobody. And in the end, nobody is perfect. Haha. Anyway, just think about it. All the stuff that I'm saying, by the way, in my vlogs is never to disrespect anybody, and always try to make people think a little bit, maybe go a little bit left or right to improve their life. Put in a little bit of discipline, show a little bit more respect to the world around you. Don't only take care of yourself, me, because I need this and this, and now I'm going somewhere. When it's about your needs, nobody gives a shit. The thing is, because I'm constantly chatting with people, and also new people, they start with a chat, then video calls, etc. So we're leveling up. I'm very careful when it's about you know, giving them my one-on-one time. I only give one-on-one time on people who are in very difficult situations, and those are at no charge. You know, when people have serious that they hit the roof, with their business model or whatever, physically, mentally, then you know, then I simply also charge, but not always in money, also sometimes with beer, because again, I never need your money unless I'm making money for you and then I take commission. So if I don't perform, I also don't get paid. Very simple. So where was I? I was going somewhere with this because I'm putting in constantly disclaimers. What did I say? I don't remember. Oh yeah, in the meantime I'm also trying to avoid all kind of people around, because somehow, since I think it has to do with the March thing, you know, that people all of a sudden dwell around the city, and I always try to avoid people. Oh yeah, I was going to a point with this, the people, their needs. So I'm always chatting with people. That's what I said. A lot of people say what they want from me. Yesterday at least 4 people, they said what they want from me, and the topics are very diverse, some are a little bit explicit, but the thing is, they straight away say what they want. They straight away say what they want. I also talked about this before. When people are in a dating event, it's simply because they don't know how to date. There's a whole pool of people, they come together and they all don't know, they all lack one skill, which means they don't know how to date. It's not a dating problem, it's a communication problem. And I'm gonna tell you the problem, it's simply they only speak about their needs. I always speak only what I bring to the table. What do I bring to the table? High energy, entertainment, and a lot of other extras that a lot of people don't do. I never speak about what I want. Never. I only bring this to the table. The thing is, when you live by a set of rules, that you focus on, this is what I bring to the table, and the possible outcome. The possible outcome is maybe that you get something that you aimed for, but maybe in a total different form. I also think that most people who make those affirmations, you know, and then visualize it, it never comes as you want. If you succeed in that you get exactly what you want into the details, yeah, that is all fun. But I don't believe in this. If you don't form your habits and or put in the work up front, I think that is one of the other things, you know, put in the work up front. So for example, a very simple example, because I talked about people reaching out, dating, blah blah blah. The thing is, if you want to have a better spouse and or a new one, I think you always should start putting in the work, instead of, you know, scouring all those dating apps and then simply you know, try to let's say present yourself as most beautiful person on the planet. No, I don't believe that it works like this, and you will end up in this constant circle of chasing something what you want. I also don't believe that most people don't know what they want, and some people, yeah, they chase real love. And the thing is, put in the work first. You know, visualize a little bit how your, let's say, possible spouse might look like or behave. Mine are very simple: high energy, respect everybody, also show genuine interest to people that don't directly benefit her, and those are the most 3 sexy ones already, because I think high energy comes with a lot of other benefits, not only between the sheets, because I also think this, if you perform very lousy in general, you know, you smoking cigarettes and you huffing and puffing, I don't believe that you can give a lot of value. It's not only about what happens between the sheets, it's also I think in the moment itself. People with very low energy, they cannot make let's say ordinary or circumstances very interesting. I don't believe this, because your brain is working constantly in a cloud. And it's not only about cigarettes. If you constantly consume all kind of negative stuff, negative talk, pizzas and burgers, your brain is cloudy. I don't believe that you can bring enough energy to the table that would actually attract the person that you really want. And of course, not everybody likes high energy people. So for example, you like a lazy one, yeah, maybe have one of your habits watching Netflix, does really fit, you know. But I don't believe that you're gonna be very quote-unquote happy. I would actually replace happiness with fulfillment, because happiness is a temporary thing. It's the same as emotion, right? I need to feel good, otherwise I'm not gonna train. No, you train every single day, or you don't. You know, not once per week or when it's beautiful weather. It's all nice when you do it only when it's beautiful weather, but I think every single human being carries a little bit of responsibility for the people around them. Yeah, but I don't want to be responsible for anybody. I understand, but you set an example. And another example, what I saw yesterday, I see a kid, a child with his father bare belly hanging over. I think he never saw his own wee-wee the past 2-3 years. And there's no disrespect, but the thing is, what are you gonna bring afterward, the generation after you? And that's how what I think. Life is not about you and me. It's about what is the example that you set. Who is coming after you? Who is coming out of you, your wee-wee? You know, the woman that you're with. What kind of behavior? How she treats the world? What are you going to teach the children? And yesterday I talked about, you know, the teachers who talked about doing business teachings. Well, those people, I don't know, I think that should be illegal. And also, you know, I went to marketing classes in the past, totally ridiculous. And by the way, this is not some kind of weird crusade against the school system. No, it's nice, they have their jobs and whatever they do, and they think they serve. But the thing is, if you really challenge those people, they're feeling very quickly stepped on their toes. Why? Because they know there is something not correct. And what I always say, if you're good at something, really good at something, and not just sucking things out of your thumb, you know, people just suck things out of their thumb and then they say they're serving. No, if you're really good at something, the only reason that you need to go to a school where you can people forced to remember what you're saying is simply because you lack one skill, you're not good enough. And next to that, the guy, the director or whatever, the principal, he arranges the clients. The students are the clients. And that sounds all very disrespectful, but it is like this. I talk also with people who work in marketing companies, and they tell me that they're great at it. If you're really great at it, you don't have to work for somebody else, because if you're a so-called marketing genius, and then you need to work for another person who actually generate the leads. Yeah, but Alan, I don't understand how to do business. Okay, yeah, no, this is another thing, excuses, right? See, a lot of people around you probably say, wait a minute. They probably say, yeah, it's all great to have excuses. I have also a bunch of excuses, they say. But the thing is, I'm your digital daddy who tries to put a red pepper in your ass and just become a little bit better than you are every single day. And is that a bad thing to say? I don't think so. If you really start pushing yourself every single day, then I do believe that you will fall asleep every single day a little bit more fulfilled, instead of, you know, slouching away in front of the television watching Netflix, because that makes you totally numb to reality. And I always do believe the closer you get to this point of reality, and I understand a lot of people who are rotten in this 9-to-5 rat race, they don't want to face reality. I understand, or do believe that they face reality. But what I always say, you take a job, a school job, and then you die. The thing is, you never actually faced real adversity or temptations. Why think like this? So-called self-employed business people who have jobs, when they get married, they need to hire strippers. Why? Because they never have access, because their energy, everything, their whole behavior, their attitude is not like attracting a little bit higher level, let's say, the opposite genders, or maybe the same. I always say, just put in the work, try to grow a pair between your legs and just step into the world and start enjoying it. You will fail 1,000 times maybe. I failed 1,000 times, I'm 47. The thing is, I failed so many times, people are already sick of it. But now I'm doing everything from the phone. And I'm operating multiple businesses in multiple countries, multiple aids, levels, categories, and I'm now in the expansion thing. The last time I lost everything I was 41. Again, because I believed in somebody's skills and dedication. Although this specific person proved his dedication, so he deserves all the rewards afterwards. Not saying any bad thing about this. So the thing is, with that case is a part about forgiveness. I lost maybe a couple of years of my freedom, but the thing is, who gives a rat's ass? We're living now. Everything needs to be done now, not tomorrow. And of course you cannot do everything in one day, but you can start somewhere to building somewhat a structure. Not your job, that is just something good for your brain just to shut down. The thing is, you need to create your own structure. What are you gonna do with your time? And just, even if you got a 9-to-5 thing, just what would you do with freedom? I think a lot of people would not even know what to do with freedom. For example, you don't have to do anything. You don't even have to wake up the next 6 months. What are you gonna do? Sleep for 6 months? Ever thought about this? Also this, I had once a talk with a guy. He said, yeah, I'm missing yeah, the reason that I cannot do anything is because of money. The thing is, I said, what do you need? He said, I don't know. So you don't know what you need, the amount of money, plus, and then he mentioned the number. He said 50,000 or whatever. The thing is, I said, what are you gonna do with this? He didn't know. He didn't know. So numbers he doesn't know, and where the money would go he wouldn't know. I think that is, again and again, when it's about responsibility, where is the responsibility? Think a little bit outside your own little tiny box. And I'm saying little not to disrespect you, it's little because your life is so short. You're gonna be dead for centuries, and we're only alive for, no, if we're lucky, maybe 100 years. A lot of people don't even make it till 10. So what are you gonna do with your time? And you know, the reason that I'm speaking the way I do is simply because I live the life what I talk about. You know, I'm hammering on the fact every day it's performing better, evaluating my conversations that I had, video calls, texting, offline meetings, always evaluating, always getting better. And when it's about my vlogging thing, I just gonna go all in. And at one point my speaking is maybe way much higher than now. But anyways, I have to start. I had to start 1 year ago. Anyway, I'm just sharing also something that I put in the work. I'm not some kind of guy in a suit with a PhD thing, crying my eyes out on the videos or on the thumbnails and tell the young people that you have to be stoic. Don't be stoic. If you're 25 and you didn't live the life I did, don't try to be stoic. I would highly suggest that you enjoy life, put some emotion in it, be in the moment, stop playing around with your phone. And if you use your phone and you love your phone, that the latest model, this and this, blah blah blah, who gives a rat's ass? The thing is, try to put in the work, try to implement one of the structures or two of the structures that I talk about. Own a couple of audiences. That is your retirement. I own 100+ audiences, but I'm not over here to talk about this. I talk about stuff to consider. I'm just bashing it. Hey, little birdie. Oh, hey, little birdie. Oh. Anyway, another nice animal meeting. Always love to bump into an animal. Anyway, I had maybe another topic. Oh yeah, the people who are, because I'm always extracting my speaking from the past 24 hours, chats, video calls and other things. Let's see what I also said in maybe the last 5 shorts. Like I always say, you know, always I could add things. About one short I could add way much more stuff. So let's see, is there a short that I would say that is worth mentioning? Yeah, the fake materialism. Where did I talk about in this? Oh yeah, that actually nobody cares about your BMW or Mercedes, and that you, yeah, when you actually acquire stuff, maybe you should consider why, or ask yourself, why do you buy this? You know, why? What is the real reason? And do you want to attract people, maybe the opposite sex, because you drive a BMW or a Mercedes or whatever? Or in our case, because we are considering multiple things in multiple countries, then we would acquire a little bit above average vehicle just to attract people, and I would never drive in it. So that would be for business growth, attention. And I would never use it, let's say, in videos, like, you know, telling people, oh, this is what I drive, and then this is the only thing you need to do, and then I'm selling you a $27 course. No, I don't sell anybody. I just give everything away for free, and you can start with 50 minutes a day, replace 3 minutes of 3 hours. So you get, usually maybe you spend 3 hours on your phone daily scrolling, do 15 minutes to start actually, you know, implementing some of the structures that I'm giving away for free. So you can start claiming your freedom, maybe perhaps after 6 months. Maybe you start thinking a little bit different, also thinking different about the people that you hang around with. The same people who speak about the government, how bad everything is, talk about the tax, that the grocery money, everything is getting so expensive. I don't know what, electricity, gas, maybe petrol for your car, I don't know what. You know what? Just adapt. There is nothing you can do about, nothing do about it besides just taking care of yourself in a better way. And once you become more valuable, probably you get more paid, maybe you even free up some time. You don't have to ask your master anymore for a holiday, and then you can actually spreading some value. And that is pretty much the timeline. But that's a long timeline, and I know a lot of people like this loophole things, strategies for $27, and then, you know, just overnight, maybe a couple of weeks it will work, and then it doesn't work anymore, and then you chase another loophole. My work structures are evergreen, uncapped, and the more work you put in, the more you possibly earn. Can be done by a 12-year-old, and like I always say, you know, I started selling when I was 11, and the thing is, if somebody would give me the work structures that I do have now, and when it's also about those work structures, how did I came up with this? Well, very simple. I started selling when I was 11, and not only this, I lived a very colorful life. So everything is done and upscaled and growth focused. Every single day I'm trying to improve the way I present the work structures, so I don't scare people away. Day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5, and everything will be provided through an email letter. And the thing is, what is the hidden thing, Dylan? Well, I got your contact details, and no, I'm not gonna implement up sales or down sales, all that normal people bullshit. The thing is, what I would like, and I'm not asking for anything, but I know that people will hit a financial roof, or maybe a creative roof, you know, limits, and then you can perhaps work with me, and then we upscale. That's how it works. But that's a very long term though. But how do you make money then? Well, I make money from the people that I work with, those relationships I have built, and I'm giving away those strategies how to do this. Like I said, a 12-year-old can actually have equity in other people's business when they're 15. So there's a 3-year trial. If you're 21, you can do it in less than 6 months. Is that all reality talk? I never heard about this. Yes, it's reality talk, because I did it and do it, and I'm upscaling and increasing every single segment of the process, and also the speed of it. I automate stuff, and I talk about this a lot, about this, the make.com scenarios to increase reach. I never did a paid ad. Okay, maybe once just to test, but it's not for me. Anyway, a lot of people would say, yeah, but you need to do paid advertisement. I understand, but I'm a little bit a different kind of cookie. If you can see, there are thousands of videos already out there. There are actually more, but those are hidden for, let's say, the public. There are more than 800, I think. Very valuable. Also, I got hundreds of videos about real life events, also the time that I was sitting on the street. But anyway, they're not for now. I take my time, you know. I'm not in a hurry. I'm not in a hurry with this whole vlogging journey. Anyway, I'm over here in the Rakovsky Stadium and we gonna put in the work again and again, but not every day over here. Now I'm over here because I actually want to go to the West Park around Lulin, but now when the weather is beautiful, people popping up over there like mushrooms. All of a sudden people need to get in shape. What I always say, and there's no disrespect, again, everything that I'm saying is never out of disrespect or looking down on people. I always try to make people think, because if you're in a circle of people who all talk the same, that it's good, you know, not to run in the winter. You know, stay at home, little Timmy, because otherwise maybe your muscles will cramp. Fuck you. Really fuck you, because, you know, you want me to stay on your level. That's why I say it. You know, and there's another thing, and then I'm gonna stop talking about it. If you really listen to people, their words, and they try to make you think like, let's say, a stoic person or a so-called stronger person or a more resilient person or build character person. The thing is, because I watched that one guy, I think 2 days ago. Okay, a couple of persons around him died, been there, done that. The thing is, what he constantly talk about, the same death. I'm sick of it. The thing is, I'm not sick of him in particular, but people who use the word, oh, that is so hard. What is hard? You breathe another day, you walk another day, what is fucking hard? Really think about this. The people that you listen to, hard. I never mention the word hard. You never see me wiggling around on an office. You don't see me licking ass and wearing a suit. You don't see me do anything what the normal people do. You don't see me sitting in a restaurant on a regular basis drinking cocktails and just have a beautiful background. No, this is raw, real and unedited, and I'm giving it you the way it is, reality. You know, you suffer like the calisthenics, the concrete, everything is not bending, and also doesn't give a shit if you do it or not. And that is reality, that resembles life. Yeah, but the people are really my friends. You never tested them, trust me. And if you want to put them to the test, just reach out, and I'm gonna crush your characters if you want. And I'm saying this with all the best intention. I'm not gonna bash you in the face unless you want. But the thing is, it's not about violence, it's about start thinking different. And that's why I also talked about this whole school thing. And again, this is not a crusade against that school is all bad, but I don't think that the people who really believe in the whole school system and then going to get a job, a mortgage, 2 divorces, and then die as soon as possible, that is not a way of living. That is not the, and in case you're religious, that is not God intended to put souls on this planet. And it is the same with people who take over the normal business from their parents and say that they're in business and that sales are all easy. Nothing is easy. I had one guy, he said, yeah, every idiot can make sales. Not true. Totally not true. And also when he shares then the ugly women that he bangs, and then he brags about that he has every weekend another one. You know, and it is not to talk down, and if you're watching this, it's true. It's true. If you really look at those people, wouldn't even be touched with a stick. And this is not to talk down on women, it's also the other thing around. You know, I don't think that I'm all this and that. No, I'm not. I just speak reality. There's always space for you to ask questions. Just ask the question, you know, who is saying it, how they're saying it, and what is the words that they use recurring. I know him because I'm doing everything from the phone. A lot of people don't understand what I'm doing and how am I doing it. The thing is, the people that are knew or know the longest, they always have sneaky comments. What is the sneaky comment? Yeah, what would you do if the internet falls away? I'm 47. I started selling when I was fucking 11. What do you think what I'm gonna do? I know how to speak. I know how to sell myself. And not sell myself, I mean, I'm not giving myself away, selling myself, selling my skills, selling my value, if necessary, offline. There are so many ways offline. Like I said, you know, when I start cleaning bicycles when I was 11, do you think that I cannot figure it out at 47? I've been homeless 3 times. Anyway, besides that, those are the people that don't understand it, and they got stuck. So I'm 47 and some people are 40 plus, and then they took over some business model from their father or whatever, and don't even want to make more sales because that all sounds hocus pocus. They don't even want to accept card payments because that is outside the normality. It's cash flow. A lot of people don't understand cash flow. This is also another thing, you know. Just keep it flowing. Even if you lose a couple of cents and you got an extra client, a recurring client, maybe you have a little bit, you upgrade your speaking a little bit and make it a little bit more engaging when they enter your place of business, instead of playing with your phone or look as the most grumpiest person on the planet. You know, a lot of people also, you know, sometimes I think that they're in some sort of angry looking contest, you know, just to be as angry as possible, chase the client away. I don't know what it is, but I also don't believe that the boss or whatever is, let's say, in tip-top condition mentally, physically, and or whatever, you know, but also not focused on the growth. Just run the business, get ready, keep your rent coming in, and that's it. Die as fast as possible. Sounds very disrespectful, Dylan. Again, what I always say, when I speak with older people and I see them 60 plus, still all the life, no, not still, all the life is sucked out of their eyes, and they're sitting still on their business, and the whole window behind the window is one big mess. I talked about with one of those people, I think last week, and I said, Mamma mia, you still can't change. So I gave him free traffic. Well, that's what I'm doing over here in Bulgaria. I just give small businesses free traffic so they don't have to slave away too much. But yeah, what they do with it doesn't matter, because I give everything away for free. I'm not charging anything. Some people get paranoid about it, you know. Why do you give everything for free? Maybe they think that I come later for a payment. No, and I'm not even thinking about this. So when it's about paranoia, you can think that the whole world is against you and everybody wants to get money from you. Maybe that's true, but if you know, a little bit more open for the possibilities, you know, some people maybe 1.11 or 0.1% simply not coming to get you. And if you have a little bit human knowledge, and that's why I'm always talking about get out of this rat race, this normal people A to B thing, because you are limiting yourself, your character, your life experience. And like I said, you're way much longer dead than you're alive. You're gonna be dead for centuries, maybe not only centuries, way much longer, for eternity. And you got only a few years, or we all have only a few years left on this planet. And once it's done, it's a done deal. Then it's over. And then people gonna step in your grave, maybe the BMW or the Mercedes that you bought with all proudness, whatever. They're gonna share it, you know, gonna sell it for a quick price so they can get drunk from your money. Tja, it's reality. I've been to funerals, the moment that the person, the coffin was still above the ground and they were already talking. One of the coffins was still in the church and they were already talking about it. So where is the real thing? You have to do it now. Don't be ashamed to fail. Don't hold back on anything. Just do it now. And everything that you consider to do, just do it. Maybe, okay, when it's about robberies and all kind of stuff, maybe think a little bit longer. And everything what is not detrimental to your health or hurt other people, I think that is worth trying it. And I don't believe when you fail that you hurt anybody besides yourself. And when you get hurt, you grow. Unless you're gonna cry in the corner, put on a woolen sweater and cry your eyes out. Yeah, now see, then already life gave you one test and you gave up. You know, life gives everybody the amount of test that you can handle. And if you cannot handle it, go back to the hurt and keep on complaining. Anyway, just a quick one, and I'm gonna put in some work. Maybe if there are not too many people, but I'm already scouring the area, thinking to do a little bit of live stream when it's about my calisthenics regime. But it seems that I can only shoot quickly here and there some clips. But that's the way it is. We simply adapt. Not emotional attached to anything. So here we go. Ciao for now. And like always, nobody ever went to jail for giving too many compliments. Just start somewhere. Yeah, but Alan, what kind of benefits do I get from this? Stop thinking about yourself. Stop thinking about yourself in the first place. You know, those things are for free. You got a voice, I think, and if you don't, do it with your fingers or whatever. Don't use the middle finger. Or maybe you live in a culture where that is very positive, but I don't know. Anyway, I start losing my point. Just try to think a little bit outside the box so you can live a life of freedom. You don't want to be stuck to your master, to anybody's master. You also don't want to have this non-abundant mindset that you bump into this first girl that you actually ever met in this world, the first kiss that you ever got, and then you think that he or she is all this and that. There's another thing about it, and then I will stop. The thing is, the moment that you start or stay with one woman from your village, in general that happens in villages, that is all fine, but what do you bring really to the table? Where is your experience? Where is the maturity? You know, where is the knowledge about the diversity of characters? Not really. And anyway, nothing disrespectful.